So, finally, our uni come with again with very new and beautiful story. Mom, loudly, Mrs. Wong. Yes, my dear Lina. Mom, I want something. Sit and sit down, Mrs. Wong. Yes, my dear. Tell me what you want. I am listening. Lina, I love my friend very much, and today night I invite him at home. But make sure he didn't come out his room. Mrs. Wong. Oh, so you talking about Taehyung? Ask question to her, but she think she is talking about him. Lina. Yes, mom. Please call him and sit. Tell him. Call him and sit. Tell Mrs. Wong. Taehyung loudly and angrily. Like suddenly what happened to him? Kitchen door open and one little cute baby come out the kitchen. He wear yellow color simple clothes but in simple looking extremely beautiful. Lena jealous. Yes, looking down and asked to her, Mrs. Wang, get out to your room and don't you dare to come out. Dang eyes get teary. He is looking down like he want to ask him why. Lena, come close to him. Lena, I think you didn't listen to mom. What she is saying. Sit and one land on her face. Ting shocked. Tears started rolling down. He put his hand on cheek. Mrs. Wong, why are you still standing here? Come close to him and ask. Tang, Auntie, dinner. Lena, oh, so you want food? Come close to him. Tang eyes get teary or widen. He nodded as no. Mrs. Wong, go your room. I can see everything strictly. This time Tang remembered his mom and dad. Tang nodded and went to his room. Mrs. Wong, why you asked to her Tang? Mom, you don't know how much I hate him. My friend, I love him very much, but my friends say no just because of him. One night, one day he come with me, then he see it. Mrs. Wong, okay, calm down first and sit down. Lena nodded and sit on the couch. Mrs. Wong sit beside him and asked, Mrs. Wong, what you want to make for them in food? Lena, he comes, I ask him. So we both order it. Mrs. Wong nodded. Tiang is simple, ordinary boy. He is very cute and sweet. Mrs. Wong did it him, but Lena, who Taehyung, Tiang parents love him very much, but in car, both. He started staying with them. This house is on Tiang name, but he's very cute and sweet. Tiang, his house is name, but Tiang work here like maid. Lena like with them. This house is on Tiang name. Every night he cry, but he thinks someone come in his life will remove every sadness, cureness, and give him love. He have deep faith on it. Lena love his friend, but one day his friend see Taehyung. Well, night time. Taehyung sit his room. This room is very beautiful, but this room is simple. Taehyung whole face is fully red. 5 marks clearly show. This milky skin become red one. He see himself in front of the mirror and think how his mom and dad treat him. But after mom and dad life is not life. Suddenly his phone started ringing. He see caller ID. It's gentleman. Small smile appear on his face. Door and attend the call. Jimin. Hello, my cuties. Cutely said, Ting smiled. Hello, Jim. How are you? said in very low voice. Jimin, I'm fine, my baby. Tell me about yourself. Uh, Taehyung smiled. Taehyung, I'm totally fine. Jimin, tell me what happened. Said Taehyung, shocked. Taehyung, nothing. He knows Jimin know he must be hiding something, but Jimin cut the call. Taehyung, shocked and think suddenly what happened to him. Well, his phone again started ringing. He sees Jimin video call him. He's shocked. He knows Jimin must want to see his face and hands. Then, if he didn't attend the call, so Jimin get angry, and he don't want. So he attend the call. Jimin, show me your face. Taehyung said and put camera on left side. Jimin, I want to see your right side. Hurry up. Taehyung, oh Jimin, try to understand. Jimin, Taehyung, if you didn't show me your face, so literally I come your house angrily. Taehyung, show him right side. Jimin eyes widen or get teary. Jimin, she again angrily asked to him. Taehyung looking down because he is right. Suddenly room door start to knocking. Taehyung hurriedly cut the call. He put phone under the blanket because if he cut the call, so Jimin didn't call him again. He took a courage and opened the door. Lena come in front of him. Lena, why you open the door that much late? Smirked and asked to him. Taehyung looking down, think I go washroom. That's why. Such and again looking down, Lena rolled her eyes. Lena, well, I come here because my friend coming, and if you come out the room, so I think you know what I done with you. So it's better for you stay in your room. Sit and touch Taehyung's cheek. Taehyung shivering, but he hurriedly nodded. Lena, okay then lock the door. Otherwise, Say and left from there behind. He hurriedly locked the door and took a relief. He sat on the bed. After 15 minutes later, he called Jimin. Jimin attended the call. Jimin, Taehyung, are you okay? He don't know why, but he asked to him because suddenly Taehyung cut the call. Yes, I'm fine. Jimin, are you sure? Like Jimin don't want to believe him. Yeah, I'm fine. Tell me how's Auntie? I miss Auntie very much. Jimin smiled. Jimin, your auntie is planning how make you come in Jen mansion. Taehyung shocked. Taehyung, huh? What you say? Cutely asked to him. Taehyung, nothing. Leave it. And they both started talking with each other. Now next scene going to start. Other hand, Jimin's son. Jimin come out the room. Jimin, yes mom. Mrs. Jen, son, how's Taehyung? Asked question. Jimin, he is okay, but last night I see fingerprints on his cheeks. On his cheek. Mrs. Jen, what they hurriedly asked to him. Jimin looking down and nodded. Jimin, mom, Taehyung. Say make she nodded. Mrs. Jen, don't worry, I talk him. Jimin smiled. And now time skip. Night time. Mom Taehyung. Say make she nodded. Mrs. Jen, don't worry son, I talk him. Jimin smiled. Time skip. Night time. Mrs. Jen come out the room and see Jungkook is busy doing his work, like his eyes fixed on laptop screen. Mrs. Jen, Jungkook look at her with questionable eyes. Mrs. Jen, son, I want to talk with you. Jungkook put laptop aside. Mrs. Jen, I want something. Jungkook, yes. Normally, like today, Jungkook mood is good. That's why he talking greatly. Jimin listen everything, but he stand up the corner of kitchen. Mrs. Jen, I want you get married. Jungkook fingers stop and look at her. Mrs. Jen, I find one very beautiful boy for you. Again said Jungkook, mom, Mrs. Jen, please Jungkook, I know you don't want to marry someone, but please, it's important. Jungkook shocked to see his mom like this. Suddenly, what happened to her? Jungkook, but listen to me. He again tried to calm his mom, but Mrs. Jen doesn't ready to listen him. Mrs. Jen, no Jungkook, I want you say yes. Trust me, I find something good for you. Jungkook, okay, at the end he give this answer. This time she doesn't listen to him. That's why he just say okay. Small smile appear on Mrs. Jen's face. Mrs. Jen. That's my good boy. Said Ella. From there, Jung's phone started ringing. He attended the call. Jungkook, I'm coming. Eyes red because of anger. He collects things and go out the house. Jungkook come in one place. Yoongi, finally you come. Jungkook look at him. He say, Jungkook, where is he? Asked to him. Yoongi, there, point on the left side. Jungkook smirk and come close to him. Finally Jungkook find him. Jungkook, remember me? Asked this man who sit on the chair. Yoongi stand behind Jungkook. This man sees Jungkook with half open eyes. His eyes widen and get scared. Jungkook, I think Yoongi, he didn't remember me. Say and look at Yoongi. Yoongi, no Jungkook, how he forget you? Jungkook come close to him. Jungkook, tell me. Put on the forehead and ask to him. This man scared man. Yes, I know you very much. Small smile appear on Jungkook's face. Jungkook, if you remember me, so why I didn't see scaredness in your eyes for me? Asked to him and put on his eyes. This man tightly closed his eyes. Jungkook, Yoongi call his family and tell them we give you a lot of money. Man, you think you sent money and they believe you? In your dreams. Sit and look into Jungkook's eyes. Jungkook, yeah, you are right. Well, they didn't believe me. So Yoongi, tell me what we did. Sit and ask to Yoongi. He look at him. Yoongi think and say, Yoongi, I have one idea. Jungkook, tell me. Yoongi, first you him, after that we put him on the car and Jungkook and we. Yoongi smile. Yoongi, yes, you're right. Jungkook, it's good idea. This man eyes widen. Jungkook come close to him. Jungkook, still you didn't tell me where is these innocent babies? Seriously? This man nodded as no. Jungkook, this man on tight. Man screamed loudly. Jungkook more close to him. Jungkook, you still don't want to tell me? Said, but this man crying because of extremely pain. His eyes going to close, but Jungkook doesn't want. Jungkook, he hold his collar and again asked him, Jungkook, I'm asking you something. This man looked at Jungkook with half open eyes, like he don't want to tell him. But Jungkook, tell me. This man scared and tell him everything because he knows Jungkook were done with him. Jungkook looked at Yoongi, who hurriedly nodded. Yoongi called someone and tell him everything, but Jungkook was still look at this man angrily. Jungkook, I hate these people who try to ordinary or innocent boys and girls. I hate a lot them. Sit and come close to him. This man clearly see angriness in his eyes. Yoongi come close to him. Yoongi, Jungkook, everything is okay. These babies is totally fine, so no need to worry. Our man come on time. Jungkook closed his eyes and took a relief. He stand up. He about to go, but Jungkook again him and his laying on the ground. There come they come close to him. Please, who are you? Jungkook see them with dark blue eyes. He wear cap, that's why they didn't see Jungkook face. Tell me, I'm asking you something. Jungkook is ASP? Jungkook. Everyone looking down and sneer Jungkook. I'm sorry, sir. Such and looking down. Jungkook, I don't like these people who lower their heads. Look up. Everyone look up. Yoongi clean the mess. Okay, sir. Yoongi, let's go. Look at Jungkook and say, Jungkook, yeah, but first I want to see these babies. Yoongi nodded, was sit on the car and left from there. Jungkook is very intelligent and fearless person. That's why he joined. This case is very difficult for everyone, but Jungkook performed it greatly. Everyone call him. Yes, Jungkook is Jungkook is very intelligent and fearless person. Next day, Taehyung is busy to doing his work like cleaning. Mrs. Wong and Lena in their rooms. Suddenly, matron opened or Mrs. Chen entered the house. Taehyung see his eyes get teary. Mrs. Chen, Taehyung softly asked to him. He stand up and come close to her. Tears rolling in his cheeks. Taehyung, Auntie, I'm so happy to see you here. Wipe his tears and said, Mrs. J, my cute baby, but I'm not happy to see you like this. Back to hug and said, she cupped Taehyung's face. This time Taehyung looking very weak, but still beautiful. Mrs. Jen, but now I'm here, so don't worry, everything will be okay. Taehyung didn't understand what she is saying, but he is happy. Mrs. Jen, now go and call Mrs. Wong. Tell him I want to talk him. Taehyung nodded and go behind. She sits on the couch. Mrs. Jen in mind. Taehyung, son, everything will be okay. Trust me. Think. She sit down when Mrs. Wong entered the living room. Mrs. Jen didn't stand up. Mrs. Wong, oh, you come. Smirked and said, Mrs. Jen, yeah, I want to talk with you. That's why I come here. She nodded and sat down. Mrs. Wang, tell me, Mrs. Jen, I want something from you. Serious tone. Mrs. Wang, I know what you want. She smirked and said, Mrs. Jen, it's good, so give me. Dear Lena, come and sit down. Mrs. Wang, do you think I give you? Smirked and said, Mrs. Jen, I know you didn't give me, but I also know how to snatch my things. Well, I have one news. I give you money. Smirked Mrs. Wang. How much? Mrs. Jen, 1 million. Lena eyes wide. Mrs. Wang nodded as no. Mrs. Jen, 2 million. Lena, mom. Mrs. Wang, shut up. Mrs. Jen, 2.8 million. And Mrs. Jen, now deal done. Ask question. If Taehyung listened, so he must be cry. But Mrs. Jen know how to handle it. She didn't give her money. Mrs. Wong, I think about it. Mrs. Jen, I come here because I want Taehyung come with me. Think fast, otherwise, I have many other ways. Mrs. Wong shocked Lena. Mom, give this idiot. Why are you thinking? Hurriedly said, but in low voice. Mrs. Wang, okay, Taehyung go with you, but about my money? Mrs. Jen, night time I transfer money in your bank account. Mrs. Wang, Taehyung, He hurriedly come out the kitchen. Mrs. Johnson, go and pack your stuff. You're going with me in my house. Big smile appeared on Taehyung's face. Finally, he is going with her. He happily left from there. Behind Mrs. Jen, look at both. Mrs. Jen, he is coming with me, but you both have to give answer. Mrs. Wang, I didn't understand. What are you saying? Asked to him. Mrs. Jen smiled. Mrs. Jen, I say you did wrong. You did many wrong things with this innocent soul. Now you have to pay this. And you point to Lena. You think right? Angrily look at her. Lena gets scared. First time Lena gets scared. Well, Mrs. Jen, you just wait and watch. You did wrong. You just wait and watch. You did wrong with my tongue. Now you both say what I done with both of you. Said there, Taehyung, come with this bag. Mrs. Jen, come, baby. You stand up. Answered Taehyung. Didn't look at everyone. He held Mrs. Jen's hand and both went to Jen. Mentioned Lena. Mom, what she say? Nothing. Calm down. Lena nodded and both went to their rooms. Well, Jimin is waiting. Suddenly, door was knocked. Big smile appeared on Jimin's face. He hurriedly opened the door. Taehyung said, Jimin. Both hugged each other tightly. Jimin, finally you come back to hug and said, Taehyung, you know Auntie come because of Auntie I come here. Thank you so much. Mrs. Jen smiled. Jimin, come sit. Taehyung nodded and both sit down. Mrs. Jen, where is Jungkook? Jimin, Hyung called me and say today he have some work so he come late. Mrs. Jen nodded. Jimin, Mom, I think you don't know. Taehyung is right. Mrs. Jen, yeah, you are right. I tell him later. You both go their rooms and take some rest. If Taehyung feeling hungry, so Jimin gave him food. She said. Jimin nodded and she left from there. Behind, Jimin held his hand and both went to Jimin's room. Time skip, night time. House door open. Jungkook entered the house. He see whole house is dark. He think everyone's sleeping. Well, he sit on the couch and try to relax himself. But suddenly he listens someone is walking. He hurriedly stand up and put out in his pocket Jungkook, whose hair. Angrily, this beauty gets scared. Jungkook didn't see his face. Both stand up in front of each other, but didn't see faces. Jungkook on the large string see. He gets shocked or about to scream, but Jungkook put his hand on Taehyung's mouth like he want to stop him. Don't you dare to speak. Because if Taehyung screams, everyone wake up. Or this time Jungkook don't want. He think he handle everything. Well, Taehyung's eyes get teary. Jungkook, who are you? Rest in Taehyung's head and said, tears rolling down. Jungkook, I'm asking you something. Loudly, Taehyung feel like his heart stopped for a moment. Well, Taehyung didn't give him answer of Jungkook. He is crying and scared badly. Jungkook about to tell him something, but there Jimin come. Jimin shocked. Jimin, Hyung, what are you doing? Jimin shocked and come close to him. Jungkook about to tell him something. Jimin Taehyung start crying badly because of scaredness. Jungkook put aside. Jimin, Hyung, what you did with him? See how much he's scared. Jungkook also shocked. Jimin, who's he? Jimin, Mom told you. Who's he? He about to go, but Jungkook hold his hand like Jungkook have curiosity to know, Jungkook. I'm asking you something. Who's he? Again asked to him. Jimin, your soon-to-be husband, said Jimin. Said Jimin, Taehyung, everything is okay. Come with me. Hold his hand and both go upstairs behind Taehyung. See this beauty bag. Well, he know what he did. This time Taehyung had badly paining. He went to kitchen for making black coffee because this time only black coffee worked. Jimin, Taehyung and Mrs. Chen is waiting when Jungkook come and they start to eating. This time, Jungkook come and they start to eating. This time, Taehyung looking very scared. Mrs. Chen worried. Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen, Taehyung, son, what happened? Why are you looking scared? Jimin, I tell you, mom. Sit and tell her everything, Mrs. Chen. Of this boy, sit and lightly slap her forehead, Mrs. Chen. Taehyung, calm down. It's just a misunderstanding. Taehyung looked at her and nodded. He smiled. Mrs. Chen also smiled. Dear Jungkook, when Jungkook came, Taehyung more close to Jimin. Mrs. Chen, Taehyung, what you did last night, huh? Jungkook looked at her. Jungkook, what he is doing there? Asked him Jimin. We would see movie. Taehyung feeling thirsty. That's why he come downstairs for drinking water. Jungkook nodded and he started to eating like he ignored it. Mrs. Chen, Taehyung, calm down, son, and eat your meal. And eat your meal, okay? Taehyung smiled and nodded. Jungkook looked at him. Today he wear light purple colored dress, looking very cute. Jungkook eyes like stuck on his face. Mrs. Chen, so Jungkook, I ask you about marriage. Jungkook come to reality. He nodded. Mrs. Chen, so meet. He is Kim Taehyung, your soon-to-be husband. Taehyung shocked, but he is looking down. He wanted to say no, but there is no have who listen to him. Jungkook, listen, mom. Why are you that much hurry, huh? Mrs. Chen, son, Taehyung is innocent boy, and I don't want everyone think Taehyung is not good boy. That's why he is staying here. Jungkook, now what you want to me? Coldly asked her, Mrs. Chen. I want you marry him as soon as possible. Simple. Jungkook nodded. Jungkook, okay then night time I come with priest, okay? Mrs. Chen smiled. Mrs. Chen, okay, I don't have problem. Jungkook shocked to see his mom. Jimin, mom, calm down. Mrs. Chen, you both shut up. Okay, you both don't know anything. Why you didn't listen to me? Jungkook, mom, I am ACP and you think I'm you still think I'm kid. Mrs. Chen, for me you are a baby. Jungkook shocked because if Yoongi listens so surely he is laughing at him. Well, Jungkook, oof, mom. Mrs. Chen, so really nighttime can get married with Hyung? Mrs. Chen, yeah, I have a very beautiful dress. So Taehyung, I give you, you wear it. Jungkook, mom, it's too early. Now Jungkook come in serious tone. Mrs. Chen, I know Jungkook what is good for you and what is not. Jungkook about to tell her something, but when he looked at Taehyung, he stopped his place like his tongue don't want to speak anymore. Well, he can't stop and again said, Taehyung, mom, I want reason for marrying him that much early. Now Jimin stopped because this time Jungkook is serious mood. Jungkook not that much cold, but when he is in serious mood, he'll never beat everyone. Jimmy look at Taehyung who's looking down. Mrs. Chen, tell him everything and also tell him how his auntie or cousin treat him. Jungkook eyes Jungkook, now mom, I handle everything. Mrs. Chen, yeah, I know you handle everything. That's why I told you. Smile and said Jungkook complete his meal. Jungkook, nighttime I come with priest and now I'm going because I have one very important work. Mrs. Chen nodded and Jungkook left from there behind Taehyung gets scared. Like he he thinks Jungkook behavior. Jungkook look like a uh, I don't have permission to speak these words. Well, many questions run in Taehyung's mind now. What he did if Jungkook behave him coldly. On the other hand, Mrs. Wong calling Mrs. Chen, but she didn't attend the calls. Lena, mom, why she didn't attend the calls? Mrs. Chen, I also don't know, but the door was open and Jungkook entered the house with Yoongi. He wear fully black color man suit, looking very handsome. Mrs. Chen, who are you? Jungkook didn't give her answer and sit on the couch. Yoongi also entered the house and sit on another couch. Jungkook, I think you didn't remember me. Sit and look at her, Mrs. Wang. Huh? What is this? Get out of my house, otherwise I call. Oof. Jungkook started laughing. Jungkook, you really think I scared to ask to her, Mrs. Wang, what you want? Jungkook, leave this house. Mrs. Wang shocked. Mrs. Wang, huh? But why? Shockingly, Jungkook, because his house is not yours. Sit and look at Yoongi, who nodded. And now you all know. Yoongi, Miss Nana, come and both. Mrs. Wang or Lena shocked. One lady entered the hall. She come close to both. Lena, leave me, you idiot. And now one land on her face. She remembered her past when she on Taehyung. Mrs. Wang shocked. Both about to go, but Jungkook come close to both. Jungkook, you both did wrong with him. You just wait and watch what I done with both of you. Sit and look into both eyes. Mrs. Wang or Lena gets scared to see Jungkook like this while both go. Jungkook, Taehyung is so what's your next plan? Young asked him. Jungkook marries. To be continued. Hope you all like it. If you like it, then subscribe and tell me in comments. Bye bye. Take care of yourself. Sayang, guys.